be on July 23rd on the Nieuw Statendam, and we're with a couple of our favorite singers from the B.B. King band, Indigo and Darryl.
Hey!
And we're excited to have a chance to talk to them because we've been really enjoying your music. I'd like to just start out by asking each of you to talk about your background. Anything you want to tell us about growing up and your family and your music?
Okay, I guess I'll start. I grew up in church for sure.
Yeah.
No one really truly in my family can sing, so my mom and my aunt was probably the main ones, but they were more like background singers.
Yeah.
So it was really church that really kind of brought me up. Out of 8 siblings, I'm the only one who can sing.
Really?
Yeah, that's very interesting. No one is deeply into music. No one plays any instruments or any of that sort. So I just kind of, church is what really brought me into the music until around like my mom ended up getting married, and he ended up listening to a lot of old school music.
Okay.
So that's what really just brought out a lot of the old school out of me, and I didn't realize I fell in love with it until then.
Yeah.
So yeah, it just kind of, whoo. So I grew up very in a strict home, but it was still free when it came to music. So started with my stepdad.
Did you sing in school?
Choir.
Okay.
Choir. Now I was, very shy, so it was easier for me to just blend in the background, but I started being a little more confident and with my friends, and so I ended up like just kind of taking more lead roles. But I did do choir, and that was actually at like choir competitions. I did start a little late with that because I was shy.
Okay.
So but I did start eventually making first chair, and was at the ensemble, varsity choir, women's choir, solo and ensemble. That's what it is, solo and ensemble. So Team EA started making first chairs.
Did they have like a pop or a jazz band or singers or anything
No,
like
well, with the competitions it was just all classical music.
that? Okay.
All classical music.
So you can do all that?
Yeah.
I love opera. I mean,
it's been a while, so you gotta let me brush up a little bit.
Okay, well, that's great. How about you, Darryl?
It's kind of the same for me. I grew up in Memphis, Tennessee. Came up in, I was the only child. I have a sister on my father's side, but my mom's the only child, and she grew up in church, so it was always gospel music. She plays the piano and the organ, so I was always around it. It started there. But then as I, in high school, middle school, I got in choirs, and in high school I was always in choirs and did the ensembles and all that. So all the classical music, that was the only, I would like to say that's the only actual training I've ever had.
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Just being in those ensemble choirs and all that.
Mm-hmm.
Then when I got maybe around 17, I got my first like background gig, but that was with gospel. And then I just started doing my own thing. I've always been like, I have such an eclectic taste in music, it makes no sense. Like from Sam Cooke to Patti LaBelle to Faith Hill to Faith Evans to it's everybody. So it was just, I just like so many sounds, and it just really surprises me that I do this gig because growing up in Memphis, I heard it my entire life, and I was like, I will never sing those songs. I will never do that, ever. And then I just fell into it. Here I am.
Here you are, rocking like a hurricane.
I think that's funny because I grew up in a military family, and so we were at Army bases, and I grew up going to the swimming pool, hearing all these songs, and they're like the soundtrack or the set list for you guys. Mm-hmm. That's what I was hearing, and so I love that music. But also I think my dad, he was more country and western, and I kind of hated that. But in the back of your mind, it's there, and now I actually listen to it. And it's just kind of strange. But I think what I'm hearing is the secret ingredient for great singers is maybe starting in the church. And on this cruise, we watched the I think it was Aretha Franklin
Yes.
bio, and then I was reading a story the other day about Mavis Staples, and she grew up in Chicago about the same time and knew the Franklin family and everything, and it was just all about church music. So
Oh, yeah.
I think that is the secret sauce.
Oh my God, it kind of is. Being from Texas,
Yeah.
being from Dallas, Texas is, well, Fort Worth originally, but you know, not a lot of people know about Fort Worth, so kind of got to say Dallas. But being from Dallas, there's a lot of church singers, a lot of church singers. That's actually where I got one of my first gigs too, doing gospel singing backgrounds, opening up for like Kirk Franklin and Martha Munizzi, you know, yeah, I love Martha. So yeah, a lot of times your singers there, and I'm sure even in Memphis, always starts in church. It always starts there, but yeah, so that's the secret ingredient for sure.
Yeah, church is the place that lets you know if you can really do it.
Exactly. Oh God, that nothing else pushes you vocally.
Yeah.
Gospel.
Yeah.
Looking out there, knowing that half the people out there sing, and can probably sing as well, that really pushes you.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
But they're very honest.
Oh, extremely. Yes,
So yeah,
extremely
it lets
honest.
you know they can bring you up or they can bring you down really quick.
You gotta have some tough skin.
So how did BB King come into your life? This project.
It started when I moved to Florida. I was, you know, my stepdad did listen to a lot of Motown and blues, but and my grandfather was listening to a lot of country music, just loves country music, but I didn't really hear it as much, more R&B than anything. So when I moved to Florida in 2016, I just heard about this place called BB King, and I'm like, I know who that is, but I didn't know he had a restaurant. So, you know, and so a friend, I had met a young lady moving there who had a band, because I was looking for bands to sing at, you know, perform with, because I've been doing music full time already for like 5 years, you know, without a 9-to-5. So I was like, okay, I want to continue doing this. And my ex helped me find this young lady who had a band, and her boyfriend was playing for BB King's. And so I came and saw them perform. I went with her to see them perform, and I just kind of started talking to the band members, and you know, we was just kind of, they wanted me to sing, so I just kind of did a little something, a little razzle dazzle, and they were like, oh my God, you can sing, but they already had a female singer at the time.
Okay.
And so all of a sudden, like a month or less, you know, later, it was like, hey, so we're looking for a new singer, because she had ended up doing something else. So they're like, hey, we're about to do auditions. I would love for you to audition. And I was like, okay. And after that, it was like, I think it was like 4 of us who ended up auditioning, you know, at different times. They want us to come at separate times. And I got hired the same day, but he didn't tell me until 2 days later, because he wanted to just like add on to the audition and see if I was gonna, you know, follow through. And he was like, hey, just to let you know from day one, you was already hired, because the first girl didn't know the lyrics. The second girl came dressing like she was about to go grocery shopping, something like that. He was like, and the other girl, she just did not know how to follow the instructions. Like, she just didn't know what I was talking about. So he was like, you got it. And from there, I just started working in BBs, and now I'm here on the ship.
So I've seen the BB King. I don't know how many there are around the country.
Oh, well, now it's only 2. I think it's only 2. That's Montgomery and Memphis.
Okay.
So far.
Not Florida anymore?
They're shut down. Yeah.
But they're affiliated with the On Board program.
Yes.
With Holland America.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And Darryl, how did you get started with BB King?
Well, like I said, I always said I would never do this music. I just always said I would not do it, because I'm from Memphis, and you know, Beale Street, it's there, and it's always played like my entire life, and I'd be like, oh my God, I'm gonna do anything but that.
Okay.
But I had some friends that were already involved that I respected, and they would always say, like, we've seen you perform. You have a voice. You're a people person. You have the energy. We think you'd be good at this. And I'd never been anywhere, so I was kind of afraid to leave and just be so far from home for so long, and that was my main concern. But I just had to talk with a young lady who was, at the time, she was actually on a contract, and we were talking on FaceTime, and she was like, I think you'd really enjoy it. You should just give it a try. So she gave me the contact to the person who was over hiring at the time. So we talked, and he said, send in an audition tape. He gave me 3 songs to do. I sent it in, and about 3 days later, he called and said, we're going to start rehearsing in about a week. Would you like to do this? And I was like, okay, let's just do it. Let's do it. So I did it, and now here we are. This is number 3 now.
This is
Your
number
third
2.
contract. Okay. What other ships have you been on?
Besides this, the Rotterdam was the first ship I was on.
Okay.
And then the New Amsterdam.
Okay. And you didn't say, but how many contracts on board
This is
have
my
you had?
second. This
Okay.
is my second contract. I did the Rotterdam.
Okay.
Right when the pandemic happened in 2019. That was my first contract. I did another. I was working on a different ship with a different company prior to Holland America.
Okay.
So, and that one was called Bahama Paradise in West Palm Beach. They were porting out of West Palm Beach, only going to Freeport, Bahama and back, and that was it. So, but I did the Rotterdam 2019, December 2019. Pandemic happened. They sent me home. Thank God, because they was shutting down all the ports, and I didn't want to get stuck. So, and then now I'm here in the Nieuw Statendam. But it's crazy because I actually go back to the Rotterdam in December again.
Okay.
In December again. So, right after this contract. So.
And the smaller ships, the B.B. King space is not quite as top as on this ship. Yeah.
That's the thing that I'm happiest about with this. that We actually have a stage.
The size of Rotterdam would be the size of where Rolling Stone is right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Rotterdam and Amsterdam, the same size.
Yeah.
It's like America's Kitchen during the day, and at night it's B.B. King.
It's not good.
You're right, exactly.
Can you talk about the preparation you have? Because you guys are so tight. You come on the stage, you're so great from the first night. How did you get that tight? What kind of prep did the whole band go through?
Oh, you want to answer this one?
Well, we go through 2 weeks of rehearsal, just like every other band.
Okay.
But surprisingly enough, we had so many obstacles to go through
baby.
during our rehearsals. Like, out of the 2 weeks, I say we probably had 4 full days of rehearsal.
Well, no, we only had one day where literally everybody
with everybody
was together.
But actual rehearsal days, like,
we had like at least two musicians missing.
Okay.
it was a lot.
It was a lot.
And then, but another thing that really plays a part, everybody in the band, we get along. Everybody likes one another. So that plays a big part in the energy and how the music is portrayed and how we come off to the audience. Because, if there's tension and people are not feeling one another, you can tell. And it's like, oh, wow, they suck. We don't know why they're sucking.
Yeah.
But they're sucking.
We can't feel their energy. I think also, and I think that's also what it is. It's the energy. What does music mean to you first?
Yeah.
And how seriously do you take it? How does it affect you personally? And I think once you really respect the music personally, I think that energy when you start doing music starts flowing through everybody else, and everyone can feel that energy. And so then it takes no time to vibe. It takes no time to just really lock in and sync up, and I think that's what it is about all of us. We really love music.
Right.
So as long as everybody has that same kind of energy individually, I think once you get together, it's just like this big, gift to give to the listeners,
And we're all grateful to be here.
Oh, definitely.
That was the thing that prompted me to do my first contract. I forgot to say that.
Yeah.
She was like, "What else? What other job can you just travel the world for free and
Right.
make money and do what you love?" And I was
Right.
like, "You are absolutely right. Let me try this."
That's true.
So yeah.
So it did, prepping, even though this is our first time working with each other. Our first time was 2 weeks prior to us getting here. That was the first time we all met each other.
And when did you come on board?
What was that, June 22nd?
22nd.
So we had rehearsal June 6th, June
Okay.
5th.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, and then so we'll get together for 2 weeks, and then those following days was just to get here.
Okay.
So the traveling, but most cases, again, even if you don't know a person,
Right.
you will feel the energy.
Right.
You don't have to know them from a can of paint or from Adam and Eve, but the energy is gonna always be there, and that's how you know when the audience knows
Right.
if something's off.
Right.
They don't have to know you, but the energy is so real, the vibration is so real. You could tell. So for me, I channel into the music. I channel it into the music, and more than likely it'll be probably one of the best performances because I'm like, focus, focus.
But people always ask, like, how long have you all been playing together? How long have you known each other? And we're like, we just met like a month ago. But
Right.
it's easy when you like your coworkers. So
Yeah.
We're feeling the tightness of the band, and
Yeah.
I guess that's part of being professional in the first place. You
Yeah.
bring that, but you can have professionals that don't get along, or they don't musically, they're not working together, or somebody has a bad attitude or something. But
I think a part of being a professional is, even in that moment, once you're on stage, it's not about you anymore. It's not about you. You have to fake it till you make it. And sometimes faking it till you make it actually might change your whole mood around. It just might.
yeah.
It just might change your mood around. Because you could be upset singing, a celebration. You know what I mean? You could be mad. I'm talking about just outright livid, but singing celebration, faking it and smiling.
Yeah.
It just something about that changing, psyching your mind and saying, okay, smile, making yourself smile, making yourself say, okay, play. You're mad, but for some reason, the way you're playing, because you're so upset, it just like locked everybody in. It's like, oh, what just happened? Do we need to make you upset even more? Nowadays. It changes your mood.
That's how it's supposed to be, right? Because on the other end, we're listening to the music because we want to feel that energy. We want to feel good, or we want to feel sad for a minute while you're singing a sad song. And so it's working on both ends of that.
Yeah,
I guess.
exactly. You kind of have to be. You won't say. Well, you have to be selfless and selfish.
Yeah.
Being on stage, you have to be vulnerable on stage because you never know who else might be feeling the same way you are, or might be going through something, and because you have threw your emotions out through the music, it may have healed not only yourself, but it also healed someone else. So it's like a double duty. It's killing two birds with one stone. I don't want to kill no birds, but you get what I'm saying.
Exactly. So the song list you had that they give you, you pick the songs from that, you learn those songs, you rehearse those songs. How much input did you guys have on that?
Well, in the beginning, none.
Yeah, none at all.
Zero.
They just give us a rehearsal list.
Yeah, they give us 2 weeks worth of songs to learn. But from there, once we leave there, we're able to, because that's what to start us off.
Sure. Yeah.
Once we get on board. After that, we have to choose, or the band leader usually chooses what's next. But the good thing about our band leader, he came to us, because not everybody's like that.
Yeah.
But I could say for our band leader, he was like, hey, okay, so what songs do you know for sure that is easy on your voice that we can add on real quick until we learn the newer tunes? So we do have some input most of the time after that.
And how do you learn those while you're playing every night? Or you only have...
Oh. You just have to listen and drill it in your brain, because like our our master list is
Huge.
like 400 songs total.
Wow.
And so we have to learn all these songs while we're here. You know, like you said, we start off with a certain amount, and then as we're here, we have to learn every week, like, you know, new songs. So you just have to, whatever works for you. Everybody has different methods. Like for me, I can just listen. I have to literally write the lyrics down, and it'll be in my brain. Now I don't know what works for everybody else. I don't know what our method is exactly, but that's mine in particular. I have to, if I listen to it, write it down, pause, write some more. What did they say? That's how I get it drilled in.
But what about the band and the arrangement? And you can learn the lyrics and how to sing it, but how do you learn to play it with the band, I guess?
Oh goodness.
Are they just...
Well, so to make it easier upon everybody,
Yeah.
learn the record.
Right.
The way that the song is played and sung, that is always going to be the best way, especially if you have never played with that person before.
That makes sense.
You know, that would always be the safe way. That's the foundation, and it helps you respect the music, but it also helps you try to, you know, learn everybody else and get in with and fit in or like vibe with everybody. If you learn the record, you can never go wrong. And then after that, everybody can come to an agreement on how to end the song or what's the best way to start the song.
Hey everybody! Tell everybody the BB King All-Star Band's in town. I got $1.25, and I'm just rare in the clown. But don't let nobody, I said don't let nobody, not one body, play me cheap. I got 50 cents more than I'm gonna keep, so let's put good times home.
Do you ever suggest somebody requests a song and you say, I'd like to sing in a different key? That might...
Oh, absolutely.
My partner in crime right here.
Absolutely.
Can answer that one.
Listen, most of the songs now, they're like from a different era.
Right.
And people sang a little differently then, and you know, it was very emotion driven. But you know, some of that stuff can be very strenuous, especially like if that's the only song you're gonna sing for that night, then it's okay. You can just give it, but you can't give your all like that on every single song. So sometimes we have to drop a key or, you know, change the transition, or something has to give. Like for her with all these Aretha songs.
Oh my God,
like the other night.
Tina.
Tina,
They want me to do all this Sam and Dave and Wilson Pickett. It's like they're in the rafters. We have to come. Like, you know.
I challenge myself a little bit because I'm already at 10 with all my songs. 10, okay? And so it doesn't matter who it is. It could be Etta, it could be Aretha, it could be Gladys, it could be Donna Summers. They're all up here. Whether it's a slow song, a very good ballad, or a fast song, they're always up here. So I try to find ways to sustain my voice, protect it, find other ways to sing them without getting hoarse, without, you know, some breathing techniques. and I have yet. But there is a song that I'm about to start. Can y'all bring it down? I'll try not to do this.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to stretch my voice on top of that, and work my voice and try to train it, when it's.
Because I got that opera thing
Oh my God.
in my back pocket.
You're going to have to work with me on that one.
Right.
You're going to give me some time. But, I try to keep, make sure that I could get it done. Because that's all a goddess high song.
Okay.
She's better than me with that trying to stretch, because at some point I'm just like, I don't want to try it. It's just, it's high.
Yeah.
My Adam's apple hurts. I'd like to take it down.
You've got a beautiful voice.
He does. And he can sing high. He really
God.
can. He can sing, y'all. He can sing high.
If I'm joking, like, I can do it. But if I'm like too focused on it, it's like, oh my God, it's not going to come.
Spotlight on James Brown, y'all. For the king of them all, y'all. He's the king of them all, y'all. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Do you like the bad music? That sweet soul music. Just as long as it's swinging. Oh yeah, oh yeah. I got to have the music. That sweet soul music.
But you really made a good point. I mean, I think most people don't realize just how exhausting it is.
Oh, yeah.
Physically, mentally.
Yeah.
And so you think about the great recordings, and you're singing. When I go to your shows, you're singing all of my favorite songs. But they were in a studio and they did that song for 3 days and they nailed it and they've rested their voice. You're having to do that, and everybody in the audience is listening to that song, and you don't know if that's their favorite song, and they
Right.
want you to nail it. And so it's hard to it's hard to take a song off.
Right.
But at the end of the
right.
night, I think most people don't realize how exhausting it must be for you.
It is. It's very exhausting because being in the front, you have to dance. You have to make, of course, it's like conversation. It's just like conversation, or I don't even know, like being a teacher playing at the playground or something. I don't know, but it is very tiring because you're dancing, you're putting all your energy to get people to smile or dance or get on the dance floor. You're talking to everybody. You have to think about the music. You got to think about the lyrics. It is a lot rolled into one. And by the time we get done, it's like, okay, time to eat and time to go to bed.
Right.
Oh gosh, it's a lot.
They aren't finished yet. Watch part 2 of the interview with Darryl and Indigo.